Welcome to the Psychological Sciences Conversion Master's Program online webinar and Q&A. If you have any questions about today's webinar, could you please type them into the question box and we will answer them at the end of the session. Without further ado, I'm now going to forward you on to Dr. Survjit Cheeta, the course director for this course.
Thank you very much for the introduction today and welcome to the webinar talking about one of the MSc programs offered within the Division of Psychology, which is an MSc Psychological Sciences Conversion program, and I'm the course director for this program. Today, hopefully, I will talk you through a number of things. I'll explain the university college structure in which we offer this program, hopefully providing some detailed information about the Psychological Sciences program and also answering any questions you might have, explaining the delivery of the program, including our online teaching platform, which is called Blackboard Learn, other services we offer to our students, such as our tutoring at Brunel, our disability and dyslexia service, also our academic skills service, and hopefully finally answer any questions that you might have. Firstly, in terms of the structure of Brunel, the Division of Psychology, which offers the Psychological Sciences MSc, is located within one of our three colleges, which is the College of Health and Life Sciences. Within this division, we have two departments. One is the Department of Life Sciences and the other is the Department of Clinical Sciences. Psychology is located within the Department of Life Sciences along with two other divisions, which are Sports Science and Biosciences. Now, the degree MSc Psychological Sciences program is delivered by the Psychology division, and the first thing I'd like to talk to you about, why would you choose this course here at Brunel? Firstly, the program is accredited by the British Psychological Society. And in addition to this, we also support our students by giving students BPS student membership during their time of study. So for full-time students, this would be for 1 year, and for part-time students, this is for 2 years. The reason we do this is to really try and encourage our students to engage with the Psychological Society, and also this supports their employability skills as well. Now, the course is intended for students who either don't have a first degree in psychology or have a degree in psychology that's not accredited by the British Psychological Society. And our entry requirements are anybody with a 2-2 or above in any subject or discipline. Currently, the program's offered two different types, either a 1-year full-time intensive program or a part-time 2-year program. In order to, what this degree allows students to do, or potential applicants to do, is because it's accredited by the British Psychological Society, you will end up being able to apply for graduate basis for chartership of the BPS, which will allow you to train for further postgraduate study in psychology in many different areas. You could become a health psychologist, clinical, sport, counselling, occupational, educational, forensic. Some of our students do this course in order to further train as professional psychologists. Some of our students simply do it because they're interested, and some of our students do it because they feel that psychology will enhance them, whatever profession they're currently in. In terms of the degree, because it's accredited by the British Psychological Society, our curriculum is based on the content they expect us to cover. So we cover aspects of biological psychology, cognitive, individual differences, social psychology and research methods, and all students are expected to do a research dissertation. Now, in terms of taught modules, we teach over 3 terms essentially. The degree will start in September and will end the following September, and the modules are divided over terms. So generally in the first term we teach an introduction to psychological science and research methods and statistics. We also teach biological, cognitive, developmental, individual differences and social psychology. Sorry, in the next slide, the structure of the degree is actually better explained. This is just to give you a little bit of information about the diversity of students that come on our degree. One thing we're very proud of is the diverse educational age, you know, where they come from in the world of our students. We have students of all ages, both very mature students who have been employed or in current employment, also students that have just come out of a first degree. We have students from across the world, from all over the world, the United States, from Asia, from China, etc., and also students from Britain, which we're very proud of. And we aim to deliver an education programme that actually caters for the diversity of our student population. Now, this slide here hopefully describes the structure of the degree. As with all MSc programmes, students have to complete a total of 180 credits, and we try and deliver these credits over the 3 terms. So typically in term 1, students will do an introduction to psychological science, and they'll cover key skills in research methods, statistics, and general academic skills. Then we move into term 2, where students will cover some of the other core areas of psychology, including developmental, individual differences, social, biological, and cognitive psychology. And all our modules have different credit weightings, which you can see on this slide. And also we show you currently who teaches some of these modules. I teach the introduction to psychological science, but we have staff from all areas of the psychology division who teach their research specialist topics in terms of the areas they'll cover on the degree. And then in the final term, students will do a psychology dissertation, which is essentially a piece of empirical research that all staff are involved in supervising students. This slide just illustrates a little bit of the sorts of assessment we offer to students across the degree. We try and offer a range of assessments, so this includes essay writing, writing psychology lab reports, doing oral presentations, and doing the dissertation. And generally, the amount of assessment associated with each piece of each module is related to the credit weighting of the module. So generally, modules that have greater credit weightings have greater levels of assessment than modules that have lower levels of credit weighting. I just finally want to talk a little bit about the dissertation module for this degree. This is essential because we have specific guidance on the dissertation module offered by both the British Psychological Society and our own Senate regulations on the provision of postgraduate programmes. The British Psychological Society essentially states that in order for students to be eligible for GBC, they must pass the dissertation with a lower second-class honours degree or above. So they must get over 50% in their dissertation in order to be eligible for the GBC. Our own Senate regulations also designate the dissertation to be the one core part of any MSc programme. This means that students have to pass the dissertation in order to be able to graduate with an MSc, and this is fairly standard given what the BPS regulations also state about the MSc. Just to explain to you a little bit about the dissertation, we give this huge priority because it's something students need to pass in order to get an MSc and to be eligible for GBC. Although officially the dissertation starts in the 3rd term, unofficially we start planning very early on for when students arrive. So when they come in September, we will give them a quick briefing on the dissertation and give them a timeline. Early December, we explain to students potential topics in which they can do their dissertation. January, all students will be allocated a dissertation supervisor who will guide and support all students through the dissertation process. And then below just shows you the timeline. We expect students in order to start planning their dissertation, collecting their data and writing up their dissertation. And generally submission is always in late September for the dissertation, which is a final piece of work a student does, and it's very led by the student in terms of the topic they want to do their dissertation in. Now here, hopefully you can see a number of staff in the psychology division. We've actually recruited 10 new members of staff, so our staff number has increased compared to here, but hopefully this illustrates to you the diversity of topics in which students can undertake a dissertation. We have a number of social and cross-cultural psychologists. We have psychologists in developmental psychology, people who specialise in psychoanalysis, clinical psychology, evolutionary, and more the neuroscience end of psychology. And my own speciality is between clinical psychology and the effects of drugs on behaviours, so psychopharmacology. So as you can see, you really have opportunities to do your dissertation in an extensive area of psychology subspecialities with an expert in the area. Now, just a little bit more information generally. We use an online platform called Blackboard, and all lectures are recorded and available to students on Blackboard. So if for any reason you can't attend a lecture, it will be available on Blackboard, but we do expect students to come in for related seminars, practicals, etc. But if for any reason you do miss something or you want to revise something again, all our lectures are recorded via our online platform, are available on our online platform Blackboard, where we also put material about assessment, submission of data, and lots of other useful information for our students. The university also offers a service called the Academic Writing and Study Skills, shortened to ASK. This is for students who might need help or support in any area in their academic writing and study skills. They can get help with statistics, essay writing, lab report writing, people to look over the structure of an essay if they haven't done an essay in a long time. So it's a really, really useful service for our students. All students also have a personal tutor when they're at Brunel, and they always know who their tutor is at the beginning of term. The role of the tutor will be someone who supports the student through both their academic and personal development, and the tutor will be a member of the psychology staff. It's up to tutors to proactively develop good relationships with their tutees and discuss periodically any academic progress and achievements, and provide appropriate guidance. And you will be given details of your tutor and information on when they're available for meetings on a weekly basis through their feedback and consultation hours. The final thing I want to talk about is our support for students with any disabilities, and this is our disability and dyslexia services. Brunel is very proud to be a disability confident employer, and the disability and dyslexia service supports any students with specific learning difficulties such as dyslexia, any mental health conditions such as anxiety, and any medical conditions such as epilepsy and arthritis. These are just a few named ones. There are obviously many others, but we offer the support to ensure our students can be successful in their studies. If any student wants to use this service, it's up to them to make themselves known to the service, which is completely confidential, and information then does get passed on to personal tutors, to course leaders, so that you can get appropriately supervised during your studies. Hopefully I've gone through that rather quickly, but if anybody does have any questions, I'm listening here now to answer any questions anybody might have. And thank you very much for listening on this very, very sunny Tuesday.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Cheeta. It's a very, very insightful presentation. So we do have a couple of questions that are coming in at the moment, so I'll try and field it for you. We have our first one here from Vijay, who asks about the employability of the course. So what kind of careers do students go on to after completing this course?
Thanks for that very, very interesting question. As I said, we support our students through employability in many ways. One of our key things we do is ensure that all the students we have here at Brunel get BPS student membership during their time at Brunel. In terms of career development, we have students who do this course for a diverse number of reasons. We've had students who have applied for clinical psychology, students who have applied for educational psychology, And I've recently written references for a number of students who have actually gone on to do PhDs as well. And we also have a placement.
Personal Development Centre.
We also have a personal development centre for our students as well.
It's fantastic. You get a lot of support in there in terms of CV development as well as help with writing.
Yes, a lot of our students currently have gone on into really professions related either to educational psychology or mental health, but honestly the students who come on this course have got a diverse range of backgrounds, from BAs, BScs in literature, in art, in the sciences, who have really thought about the next step in their career and feel this degree is important in order to achieve the next step in their career.
So we have another question here from Laura, who asks, what is the closing date to apply for the course starting in September?
I believe the closing date is the end of August for this course.
Thank you. We have another question around dissertations again. Yes, you provided quite a detailed insight, Dr. Cheeta, about all the various support that's offered. Sam asks, can you give a few examples of how you supported students in their dissertation? Any memorable example that you can think of?
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that question. The dissertation is obviously a crucial component of this degree, and the British Psychological Society requires us to ensure that each student has a dissertation supervisor who has to have background in psychology. So all our students will have a member of academic staff who's got a specialist research area who will supervise each of the students on this degree. The supervisor will support the student from December, January, right through to the submission of the dissertation, which is in September. And this supervision entails helping the student develop an idea for their dissertation, hopefully an idea which might result in something that the student can publish. It also involves helping the student to apply for ethics before they complete their dissertation, ensuring their methodology is right, giving them support on how to collect participants for the study, also analysis of their data, and finally supporting them in writing up the dissertation so that it's to an appropriate and scientific standard that is consistent with what the British Psychological Society would expect from us.
Fantastic. And that's it at the moment. We don't have any more questions. So thank you very much for joining us today. It's a goodbye from myself.
And goodbye from me. And just, if anybody has further questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. My email address is on the website for this programme, and it's essentially survjit.cheeta@brunel.ac.uk.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Cheeta, and I wish you all a very good evening. Bye-bye.